All right, I am super excited for this session. Thank you, everyone who's joining us live, and if you're watching this on the recording, we're so excited that you're here. Our big goal with Talkadot is to not only create an incredible experience for you with our tool, but also get you access to the most incredible resources. Now, today you are going to find out how to secure over $10,000 a month in free press with 90% less effort. And you are going to figure out how to get in front of the right audiences so you can unlock the power of media. This is super, super powerful for getting your message out there, for getting credibility, for getting in front of the right people so you can increase your brand awareness on publications, podcasts, blogs, and so many other more cool tools, right? And you're going to walk away today with a clear understanding of how to connect with the media, what tools to use.
I need to make a deposit.
There we go. And how to save time and money while you do it so you ultimately can get in front of more people and sell more, which is what we all want to do. We have a very, very special guest today. His name is Cahill Camden. He is the founder of Press Jockey, which is a PR tool that finds and filters thousands of press requests each week. So you can get 5 times more press with 90% less effort. He's also the director of Digital Vision Media Group, a digital marketing and strategic consulting firm. And through his fractional CMO consulting, he's recently helped 2 companies achieve 8-figure exits. So I'm super excited to have Cahill join us. This is going to be an incredible journey. Cahill, I'm going to pass it to you and let you do your thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind intro. So hello, everyone. My name is Cahill, just like Arel shared. I have done all of that, but I'm really excited right now to get into how we can get each of you $10,000 a month in press with 90% less effort. So I'm just going to jump right in. We're going to go through a presentation. I'm also going to show a few things live, so you'll be able to see exactly how I'm doing it. And then we will open up the floor for questions, and I'll answer questions at the end of the presentation. Okay, so if you've got questions during it, please do write them down, because we're going to have some time to actually go through it towards the end of the call. Okay, so let's jump into it. I'm going to share my screen here and let's rock and roll. All right, how to secure 10K a month in press for free with 90% less effort. Let's jump into it. Okay, so first things first, like Arel shared, my name is Cahill. I'm the founder and CEO of Press Jockey. I also have a digital agency called Digital Vision. And so we actually do PR for companies along with content marketing and paid media. Okay, and so right now we're going to talk about simplifying how you get free press. How do you actually do that, and how you can simplify your pitch, and the importance of saving time with tools. Okay, so let's jump in. I've helped companies get 8-figure exits. I've worked with billion-dollar brands, companies that have 60 million users or more. And I have helped a number of startups get fantastic brand exposure and become authority figures. So one of the things that I think it's important to know is, yes, I've worked with big brands. Yes, I've had some fantastic exits. But at the same time, if you are just starting out, you don't need to be a big brand to get a lot of press. That is a misconception that a lot of people think. You don't need to have a fully built out media kit. You don't need to have all of your ducks in a row. You don't need to do that to start getting press. And I'm going to show you why and show you how we can do it, okay? So if you want to land on places like we see here, CNBC, Global Mail, BNN, etc., you have to get started. You got to take action. Okay. So how do we do that? So I think one thing that is very important for everyone to understand first is that press is really impactful for your business. Okay. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter what you are talking about. It doesn't, like, the topic doesn't matter. It can help you in a number of ways. And so these key ways are, obviously, number one, you're going to get a lot more brand exposure. So as you get into more media, you get more exposure. But more importantly, you actually build a lot of trust with your audience. Okay. So you build trust because you have social proof, because you've been featured on blogs, podcasts, in the media, on the news, on TV, etc. Okay. It also helps with your SEO ranking. So this is kind of an ancillary benefit that a lot of people don't necessarily think about. But if you are looking to rank higher and higher in the search engines and you want your business to thrive, well, having press coverage helps drive up your SEO ranking. Okay. It obviously helps you become an authority. Okay. And we've seen it increase sales and conversions when we put logos on a company's site, for example. We've seen sales and conversions increase by as much as 50%. So going from let's call it a 4% conversion rate to a 6% conversion rate doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're dealing with tens of thousands of users hitting a website, that is a huge difference in conversion. Okay. So press really has a lot of positive benefits that we can take advantage of. Okay. I'm going to explain this. Most PR companies, in fact, I don't know any PR companies who are going to tell you this. Okay. There are two different styles of press that we can leverage. Okay. You can do both. Okay. Let's look at on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, we have something called outbound press. Okay. This is the typical press that you've probably heard about. This is kind of like a Mad Men-esque, New York style agency that will help you get into the media. Okay. So this is where you're dealing with PR agencies. The PR agencies are doing cold outreach. They're reaching through their Rolodex. They're reaching through their network, and they're helping you get placed into different publications for your audience. Okay. They're helping you build your story. They're helping you build your pitch angles, etc. Okay. Outbound press is fantastic. I have an agency that does it. It can work very well. Okay. The challenge is it's quite expensive. Okay. So if you've never interacted with a press agency, you are probably looking at in the range of, at the low end, $5K a month, up to $30,000, $40,000 a month to actually do a lot of effective press for your brand, your company, etc. Okay. So it's expensive, but it does save you time. Okay. We'll get into pros and cons in a second. The thing that we're going to talk about, which is where a lot of the free opportunities lie, and a lot of the free opportunities, by the way, which a lot of people won't say, they're the exact same opportunities that outbound press can get you, that you can get them from inbound press. Okay. And so inbound press is where we start to look at the media who are sending press requests out into the ether, out into the internet on different platforms. And they're saying, hey, we're doing a story. We need help. We need an expert just like you to give us insights, to answer questions, to give us a quote, etc. And so there are thousands and thousands of these requests in hundreds of different industries across the web who are looking for experts. Right? And so inbound press is where you will find a lot of the free opportunities and where you can actually leverage a lot of free press. Okay. And so inbound press opportunities, they're hot outreach, you might say. Someone's looking for help. Extremely cost effective, right? Like you can get it for free. The challenge is it takes time. Okay. So we're going to get into the pros and cons a little bit more of both. Okay. On the left-hand side, we've got the pros of outbound press. And again, I think outbound press is really fantastic. We do it for clients. Okay. The pros of it are you get to choose your media targets. So that's what you and the agency would work with. Or if you're doing it on your own, you would select a list of 100 or 200 different media targets, and you're choosing who you want to reach out to. Okay. You're also far more in control of the narrative or the story that you're pitching. So let's take an example. I might be working with a company who is talking about the future of privacy in money. We would develop a story and we would shop that story or pitch that story to our target media outlets. And when they connect with that story, if they like it, then they'll feature that story. They'll talk about that story in the way that we've presented it to them. Okay. So you get to really control it. Now, The cons of outbound press, like I said, it's expensive. You know, 5K is like very low. Like we charge, for example, 10K up. And typically you're looking at 6-month contracts. So if you don't have the capital to invest in something like this, yeah, it's expensive. Okay. The other thing is great PR firms are hard to find. You've got to work with someone who understands you, creates a great story, etc. And if you're going to do this on your own, this cold outreach, and you're going to skip the PR firms, you can do that, no problem. But you're going to spend a lot of time finding leads, finding publications, cold emailing, connecting with people on Twitter. It takes a long time. Okay. So those are the pros and cons of outbound press. Now, the pros and cons of inbound press, because it's not all rainbows and butterflies, right? The pros are there are thousands and thousands of press opportunities that happen every month. You'll see thousands, sometimes there's over thousands a day. Okay. The other pro is it's low cost. You know, there are programs or platforms like Press Jockey, which you can get signed up for 50, 60 bucks a month. And there's other platforms that are a couple $100 a month. It's not a lot of money to get started and to get in front of all these opportunities. The challenge is you're at the whim of the publisher. So if the publisher is writing about security, for example, in a specific way, or if they're interested in a very specific answer to a question, you don't have as much control over the story and how that entire publication is going to shape that narrative. Okay, so you're just jumping in to help give that answer to that quote. The other challenge with filtering through thousands of opportunities, if you're not going to use tools, you can do that, but it is going to take a lot of time. Okay, you're likely going to spend 10, 15 hours a week really trying to manually go through all this. Okay, so if you're going to start reaching out to the press, okay, we're going to talk about inbound press today because that's where a lot of the free opportunities lie. Okay? Outbound press, you can get free opportunities, far fewer, and you've just got to do a ton more work. So what we're going to talk about in terms of actually building the pitch can apply to both, but we're going to look at how you can save a lot of time, especially filtering through those thousands of requests, right? Because that's what we're here to talk about. Okay, so the outreach musts. Okay, if you're going to be filtering through thousands of requests, you've got to find the right ones for you. Okay, this sounds like common sense. However, we've seen clients that we've worked with, or we've talked to journalists who tell us that sometimes people will just mass blanket hundreds of responses to journalists, even though they're not even close to the request that the journalist is looking for. Okay, so you've got to find the right ones. This not only helps the journalist, okay, but this helps you, because you will find that you're going to get better opportunities when you match what the journalist or the podcaster or YouTuber is looking for, right? That makes sense. The other thing that you're going to need to do, which is where it gets a little challenging if you're doing this without tools, is you're going to need to respond quickly. Okay? If we just put ourselves in the shoes of the media for a quick second, so as was mentioned, I'm a Forbes contributor, and I don't even get that many emails. But imagine a Forbes editor. They're getting hundreds of emails and pitches every single day. So they're getting that outbound press from agencies, cold emails, etc. Then if that journalist puts out one request, hey, I'm looking for an expert who can help me with my article on leadership in the Gen Z age, they're going to get dozens, if not hundreds, of responses. So you've got to respond quickly. You don't want to be at the end of that group, people who are responding to it. So you got to try and respond in 36 hours or less. Okay. Then we get into building your pitch. Okay, so some of the musts that you've got to do whenever you're building your pitch, and we're going to go through these, is you've got to answer the question, so what? Why should I care? Now, I know that is a little direct of a question. It's like, well, what do you mean, so what? Why should I care? I'll explain it in just a minute, okay? But you've got to answer that question, so what? Why should I care? You've also got to explain how your authority or your expertise or your knowledge is really going to help that person create their content, answer their questions. Okay? It's not about you, it's going to be about them. Nice. Okay, so we're going to get into that. You've also got to have a great call to action. Okay? And you've got to keep your message short. Okay. Now, again, this is for outbound or inbound. We're going to focus on inbound continuously, but remember, you can apply this to both. Okay. So let's take a second here and let's go to this first part that I was talking about, finding the right press requests. Okay. So we're gonna take a look at that, and I'm gonna show you live how we do that. Okay. Let's pop over here and go. Okay. Okay. So we are in the dashboard of Press Jockey right now. Okay. And you can see, for example, the statistics this month. We have filtered through already 2,800 requests up here and about 1,600 tweets. So about 4,500 requests in total. Okay. And what we're doing is we're actually leveraging keywords. So you see here on the left here, I'll click on keywords. We're leveraging a number of keywords to find great requests from these 4,500 requests over the course of basically a week of February, right? Weekends, typically there are no requests that really go out. It's just weekdays. And so you can see next to each keyword that there are, dozens of requests that have popped in. Okay. So if we're looking for something like, let's say ChatGPT, this is what we'll be looking at today. You can come in here and you can view the actual matches, and you can actually see if this kind of a query or this kind of press request is going to be good for your business. Okay. In this case, Press Jockey is going to be using AI. So we're actually going to look and we're going to respond today to an AI request so you can see how it's done. But this to me, yeah, e-commerce, no, this doesn't make sense to us. So we would kind of throw that out the window. We're not gonna deal with it. We can scroll down, we can see tweets here. So, again, I'm seeking expert interviews and comment. And so you can literally send an email to this person who's posted this on Twitter as of, this morning at, 4:50 GMT. So it's like 8 a.m., 1 p.m., something like that, Eastern time. We can respond to them directly, but this is not a request that we're going to look at either. These two requests I'm going to look at. So I'm writing a story about the increasing number of AI chatbots. Okay, so far so good. For example, Google's launching Bard, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We can look through this and we can say, okay, here's what this journalist wants to know. What will the different approaches to conversational AI mean for everyday users? Well, in this case, for Press Jockey, we're going to be integrating AI. So this makes sense for us, right? 2, what are some of the main distinguishing factors? And we can go on with the other 3 or 4 questions, and we can say, okay, this is something that we want to respond to. Okay. We're going to get into how to actually respond in just a few minutes, but the idea is you can find press requests by entering keywords. Okay. You just add a new keyword. So you can find press requests by entering new keywords, and we will filter again through the thousands of requests that come through every single day. Okay. So that's how we find great press requests. Now, this is pulling from multiple sources around the web. It's pulling from Twitter, etc. Okay. There is a service, if you want to do this for free, you can also go to another service called Hero, Help a Reporter Out. But again, we get information, we get insights from that database as well. So, you can find all of that and more here. Okay. So that's how we find great press requests. Now, if you're going to be doing outbound press, different story. Outbound press is going to require that you manually go and find your own list of PR contacts, your own list of publication contacts. So there's a lot of research that goes into that. And you've got to manually find the emails and go on from that point. Okay, so it's a lot more work if you're going to do the outbound yourself. So inbound, Press Jockey is how we do it. Okay. Now, once we find a press request that we want to respond to, you will have the opportunity in Press Jockey, and I'll show you how to do this because we've done it, to build templates. And these templates you can quickly customize and then quickly respond to the requests by just clicking a button and tweaking it a little bit. Okay. But let's explore right now what a winning pitch actually looks like and how you can structure this. Again, regardless of whether you go forward with Press Jockey or you use Hero or whether you're doing outbound, this can be applied to all. Okay. So one of the absolute critical things that you've got to start with is writing your pitch for the person who is sending the press request. So that person is likely editor or a journalist at a publication. They're a blogger, they're a YouTuber, they might be a radio host, they might be on TV, etc. What we've got to do is we've got to be sure we're including much more of a you focus in our messaging and much less of an I focus. So for example, we want to often say, well, I have 10 years of experience in this, or I've done X, Y, and Z. And that's fine. Like that, people understand what you're talking about. But when a journalist is looking through a lot of press requests, they're looking for answers to their problems. And so we can just switch this just a little bit with having a you focus. And we can just take that, for example, I have 10 years of experience as a digital marketer or as a public speaker. We can switch that to, you'll get insights about public speaking from my 10 years experience working with Fortune 500 companies, right? It's you, not I. Okay, so we want to keep on focusing on that journalist or that blogger, that podcaster when we're writing our message. And again, I'll show you what this looks like as we get deeper into it. Okay, so that's the base. That's like the foundation. Always we've got to keep that in mind. Okay. Now, we want to keep our emails short. Okay, so we're setting the base framework for this. Okay, I shared earlier that the media is busy. Okay. And if we want to get great results, we want to stick to 2 or 3 paragraphs. We don't really want to have more than 3 sentences per paragraph because, as we all know, we do this too. You're probably skimming your email or you're reading quite quickly. Okay. You can add a resource or a link, but the main information for what you're talking about or for your response needs to be in your email. Okay. And you can bold or italicize very key points if necessary for skimming purposes. Okay, so this does help a journalist just quickly skim and look at the key points in your email. Okay, again, they're getting dozens, if not hundreds, of emails per day, and for you to stand out amongst all of the other people who are trying to get that journalist's attention, this is some of the ways. These are some of the ways that you've got to think about building your emails. Okay, so let's keep the emails short. Okay, this is one of the most important things to answer. Okay, we're going to answer it in that you voice versus I, right? So we've already figured that out. We're going to answer that in a very short way, right? We're not going to take a long time to answer this, but we've got to answer the question, so what? Why should I care? And it's not meant to be, rude or offensive. It's not meant to be anything like that. It's really meant to encourage you to focus on the core value that you're going to bring to that journalist. This is absolutely huge. And as an agency, this is what we really excel at with clients. So what? Why should I care? Okay. To build a winning press pitch, you've got to be thinking in that person's shoes. Okay. The blogger, the podcaster, the YouTuber, what are they looking for? They're looking for more clicks. They want to have a great story so that they can get their audience to click on the story and read it, to click and watch it. Why? Because that helps them in their job. That helps them boost the rankings of their publication or their podcast. That helps them get more revenue. And so if you're coming at this from a perspective of, I've got really good insight, I've got a cool company, I've got fantastic things that I can share, you're not going to get a lot of traction. You've got to think about it in terms of you. You'll get more clicks because the insight I'm going to share with your audience is very unique, or it's controversial, or it's unconventional. You're going to have more readers. It's got to be more you focused, okay? But we've got to answer that question. So what? Why should I care? And journalists are going to be asking this when they put out a press request. They're saying, hey, I'm looking for an expert to help me answer these questions. And they're going to get, let's use easy numbers. They're going to get 20 people saying, hey, I'm an expert. I can help you. So we've got to answer that question. So what? Why should I care about you and how you can help me as the journalist? This is what's going to drive your opportunities through the roof, okay? So what drives clicks and revenue? Interesting and unique insight, okay? So if we can pitch our knowledge, and I know you all have knowledge about various expertise, about various industries, you've all come from interesting walks of life, I'm sure. You all have interesting stories, interesting ability to communicate with your audience in different ways. That needs to come to the forefront and be tied to why it's going to help that journalist, blogger, podcaster accelerate their business with clicks and revenue and audience attention. Okay? So let's take a look. Here's one of our templates. Okay? And at the end of this, I'm happy to share a few more of these and give Arel and Pokin and the Talkadot team a document you guys can download. Okay? So here's one of our templates. You'll get fill in the blank insight from my fill in the blank experience, which means that your audience, podcasters, etc., will have some type of ideas not found anywhere else. Okay, so here's what it looks like when we write it out. You'll get unconventional insight from my 10 years of experience, which means that your podcast will have insightful ideas not found anywhere else. Okay? So the podcaster may be asking, well, why should I care about your expertise? Oh, unconventional insight? Okay, that's interesting. I'm listening. Or maybe I want to reach out to you. Insightful ideas not found anywhere else? That's a bold claim. Okay, maybe I want to connect with you. And now all of a sudden you've rocketed to the top of that list. Obviously, you've got to have some more backing with this. You've rocketed to the top of that list because you've captivated their attention. You've answered that question. So what? Why should I care about you? Now, if you're saying, hey, you can provide unconventional insight and have insightful ideas not found anywhere else, okay, I'm listening. I at least want to respond back to you and get some insight on how are you going to do that. Okay? So I'm sure all of you can think about your own areas of expertise and how you can pitch yourself to a journalist or to a podcaster or a blogger, etc., in a way that answers this question, so what? Why should I care? Okay, once we've answered that question, so what? Why should I care? We've got to have a call to action. Okay? Just like if you're doing a speaking engagement, you want to have a call to action. So too do you want to have a call to action when you're reaching out to the media. That call to action can be multiple things, and we'll get into it, but it should be a very clear path to what that media content creator can do to follow up with you. Okay? You can include additional links or resources to your pitch, and you can say, hey, check out my links, and then give me a call. You can do all sorts of calls to action, but it should be very clear and easy to follow. We don't want to have 2 or 3 or 4 calls to action. Hey, add me to LinkedIn, follow me on Twitter, give me a call, and send me an email if you want to learn more. But no, we want to have one call to action, a very clear path to how the media can get in touch with you and can help fulfill their story obligations, right? Okay, here are a couple of call to action templates that we've used with success. We've used things like, I can show you. Again, that's different than simply answering the question or simply saying, hey, I'm here to talk about more information. It's like, I can show you what I do. I can give you an example of it. I can walk you through my process or my framework. I can show you our software. I can help. I can show you. Let's talk. Okay. You can also have other ones, like you can email me or give me a call up until 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. I've put in, you'll notice in this one, I've put in a time that's quite late. Again, knowing that the media is busy, my opportunity to get in front of the media and get in front of all the other people who are saying, oh, I'm only from 9 to 5, this will help me get further. All right. And lastly, we've got, I'm happy to discuss via Zoom, phone, or email. Here are my contact details again to make it easy. Don't make me search for your contact details in your signature. Don't make me have to guess where your LinkedIn is. Just make it easy. Put it right there. Here's my email again. cahill@pressjockey.com. Comma. My phone number is 512-711. Just make it easy. And that way the media can quickly respond to your email and they can quickly connect with you and move forward. Now, there is one thing I'm going to say about CTAs that, again, I don't think it's a little unconventional, but I would say don't try and pull a fast one on the media. Like, really don't. So what do I mean by that? In example number 1 here, I say, I can show you. Let's set up a quick 10 to 15 minute chat. If I say that and I have a response to that, someone says, okay, great, love to see it. I'm going to set up a 15-minute chat. I'm not going to set up a 30-minute chat. I'm not going to set up an hour chat. I'm not going to take more of their time. And I'm not going to show them what I said I was going to show them. I'm not trying to pull a fast one and then pitch them something else. They just do not do that. And here's the reason why. You're building media relationships that can help you multiple times over. I'll give you a quick example. We got one of our clients on BNN, so Business News Network, okay, the largest, arguably the largest, business news station and the top of the top for a company that's in finances, which they were. We secured that relationship, and it took a couple of weeks to get that in. And once that they were in, they became the go-to resource for anything related to, at that point, cryptocurrency, digital currency, and finances in Canada. So not only did they get one opportunity and they got featured on BNN, they got 3 more opportunities in the next 4 months to be featured again on BNN because they built a relationship. And so this is what we're doing here. We're building relationships. And so you want to make sure that if you're going to say, hey, I can show you something, I'll keep it quick, keep it quick. And if they want to go forward or they want to take more time, okay, that's fine. But you keep your obligations because that's how you build great relationships, okay? Okay, so here's how we start to put it all together, okay? So the subject line, well, we can just use the because we're talking about inbound requests right now, we can just use regarding, fill in their inbound request. And we'll tweak it a little bit to make it a little interesting, like unconventional insights about, your press request, okay? Then we've got the structure to our email, okay? The intro. Why are you emailing this journalist again? Regarding what? Can you help immediately? So again, remember, more you than I, okay? The paragraph following this is going to answer the question, so what? Why should I care? How are you going to get me more clicks? How are you going to get me to my audience to pay attention to this article or this podcast or this interview? Okay. Paragraph 1.5, if you need a bit of extra, room, we're flexible here. You can add a couple of extra sentences. Okay. Paragraph 2, your call to action, your sign off, business casual, thank you, thanks. And then you can add a PS if you want. We don't always do it. I don't always do it. Sometimes I do. Depends on the situation. The PS would have a bit more information, something fun, witty, attention getting, supports you as an expert, etc. So I might put in something like, here's a link to my latest interview on X, or here's a link to my LinkedIn, or noticed you were also in Canada, can you believe the blah, 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 something eventful that has happened. And it's just an extra addition to kind of show a bit of personality or improve your your chances of them looking at you as an expert, and also giving them a bit of extra room to do some more research on you if they want to, right? Again, we want to make it easy. Okay, let's build and send a live pitch really quickly, okay? So I'm going to go over here and we're going to put it all together. Arel, how are we doing for time?
Yeah, so let's do the pitch and then open up for Q&A. So for everyone who's watching, we're going to see how this actually works so you can do it. And then we'll go into Q&A portion and we'll wrap up on the top of the hour.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so I'm here in Press Jockey, and this is what we use for ourselves and for our clients, right? So I'm going to go to keywords and pitches here again, and you'll notice two things, okay? On the left-hand side, I've got all the different keywords. On the right-hand side, I've got pre-written pitches, and you'll notice there's blanks here so that I can insert various things and actually make this work, okay? So we're going to look at the Chat GPT, and I'm going to scroll down here and let's reply. Okay, so this is something that I can quickly reply to, and for this one I'm actually going to, yeah, so I can just click on this and it will instantly fill in my press request right here, okay, or my response, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I can fill in some blanks here. Notice your press request, for AI and chatbots, right? Let's be honest. I've pre-written this. Let's be honest. Insert target audience here. General, because that's what she was talking about. General are in for a huge change with Chat GPT. Okay. So now we're going to get into our why. Why? Because Chat GPT So if you're interested in someone who insert the problem they're trying to solve, or insert a way in which you provide expertise. So right now I'm saying, so if you're interested to talk to someone who can give your audience behind the scene insights, because that is spelled right, because we're working with Chat GPT, I'd be happy to help. Okay. You'll get additional you'll get additional experience from my knowledge of helping scale tech companies to exits, and from running a PR agency, PR and content agency, both of which are about to be disrupted by this technology. Okay. Let's talk. We're going to keep it super easy. Okay. And so all I need to do is press send email. It will open up my email and I hit, and I'm going to, just adjust this. Okay. And I'm going to hit send. Boom. And that's it. Okay. So that's how fast it can be to send a response to people who are asking for press inquiries about all sorts of different topics. Okay. So that's it for me. So actually, let me just see. Yeah. So the last thing is then right now, because we've just launched this, as of a few weeks ago. Okay. So right now we have an opportunity for everyone who's interested in this to actually get 50% off all packages until March 1st. Okay. But regardless of whether you decide to use Press Jockey or not, okay, you can get a lot of press for free. Okay. We've gotten clients tens of thousands of dollars of press, and you can do it for free. You can go to a place like Haro. You can sort through thousands of requests yourself. You can create pitches using the insights I've shared today. Answer the question, why? So what? Why should I care? Come up with a very short email, short pitch, have a more you focus than I focus, have a strong call to action, or have a simple call to action. And you can add a PS if you really want, and send off your response to that inbound press. Okay. You can do that, and you can start to get opportunities. Again, you do not have to have a slick website. You do not have to have a media kit. You do not have to even have a complete understanding of how you're going to pitch yourself or your product to become an expert. I do really want to say, just get started, because here's the thing with press. Okay. You are going to find that as you progress, you are going to get bigger and bigger publications, podcasts, blogs to start featuring you. Okay? But when the time comes when you want to be featured, or you want to be quoted in the New York Times or Forbes, etc., you will find it's difficult to do it if you don't already have a press presence. So I do really encourage you to get started today, make it happen, just start. Yes, there's going to be a bit of errors in the beginning, but that's okay. You want to get moving, you want to get going, and you want to start generating press so that you can actually start to build your business, start to drive the brand awareness and conversions that you want. Okay? So let's open it to questions, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so this is really, really great. So if you have questions, feel free to throw them into the chat. If you'd rather unmute yourself, because asking it through unmuted works just as well, just raise your hand so we can have a little semblance of order as we go through this, because I think what you showed us with Press Jockey is super, super helpful. And I think Nicole said press begets more press. So that's really, really cool.
Absolutely.
Really, really cool. One of the questions was, Nicole said, is there a coupon code if we sign up now? How do we get that offer that you mentioned?
Yeah, so the offer it's open right now. We just put it up, and so everything is discounted right now. But what I can do is I can send over some of the templates to Arel Pokin, and they can send that to you as a bonus, so that you'll have some templates, you'll have some example emails that we've written and that have been successful, and you'll be able to just like copy and paste it over, and we can go from there.
Great. Sounds great. And someone said, is Press Jockey free?
So there is a free option if you want to see the types of press matches that you're going to get. You cannot respond to press requests with the free option.
Awesome.
So you can
Charmaine
start
has
there,
a question.
You can start there. You can see, hey, am I going to get press requests for my keyword? And you can start there. And once you see, oh yeah, I'll get press requests, etc., you can then move over to the paid version. So that is an option. Or you can just jump in, and we do have what's called a historic lookup. So for example, if you want to see, last month I think we had about 45,000 requests that we went through. So you can do a historic lookup and see how many press requests came through last month, the last 30 days, and you can get a gauge there. Okay.
Great. Charmaine has a question.
Okay, I think I just got some clarity from what he just said, but I was sorry if I missed this part. Are you saying that the platform does a lot of the operational stuff for you, or is just providing you a synchronized system where you can go and filter it through yourself, and then you send the emails and all of that stuff yourself? Or does the platform like do some part of it for you, if that makes sense?
Yeah. So from what I understand, you're asking, does the platform do some of the automation or some of the outreach for you, or is it
Right.
right? Okay. So right now it gives you, it filters the requests for you. So you type in a keyword, your hands off. It filters through thousands of requests for you, and it will notify you via email and also in the platform. It will say, hey, Sharman, you've got 10 requests today that match your keyword that are very specific to you. Okay. You can then go in and reply with pre-written templates that you've written. As you click on the template, like I did, you can change it a bit, hit send like I did, and it will be done. Okay. So that's where it's at right now. What we're building, what we're experimenting with is AI. So that is coming, the ability for AI to write your responses for you, or to help accelerate your responses based on the press request that's come through. So that is in the works. And then the automated part of it is down the road. That's going to happen probably in the spring, early summer. And so that will be like completely hands off. But for now,
And
it's not hands off.
it's so awesome because I've used Haro since they started in 2008 and built like these kind of cobbled together things to sort through all the inquiries. So I think this is so cool. And then we use the Jasper AI Chrome plugin. So anywhere you type text, you can have the AI type it for you. And so you can totally use it in here already.
Yep.
Awesome. And we had a question. What are the package options? Gordon wanted to know.
Great question. So there are right now 3 package options. There's starter, so you get a keyword, you get to get the results. We give you a bonus keyword too that you can turn off if you want. The bonus keyword is business, so you will get a lot of requests. You can turn it off if you want, but you get a keyword. So that's the starter. That's and then there's the pro, which gives you more keywords, more pitches, more templates, and then there's an agency level. So remember, I built this for myself because we've spent literally tens of thousands of dollars on staff to do this manually. And so there is an agency level that allows you to have multiple clients, multiple email addresses, agency keywords. So you can have one keyword for multiple clients. You can have individual keywords. It's far more robust. So if you do have an agency and you want to, leverage this for 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 clients, you can do that.
Great. Other questions? We'll take about another 1 or 2 more about maybe any best practices on getting into media, anything about Press Jockey. Happy to do that. So one of the questions I had while we're waiting for questions to come in is, when you're wanting to stand out, like I think the fear is I'm going to throw like a cup of water into the ocean. Like I'm just going to be another email that like doesn't really make a difference. What advice would you give on like how to stand out? And then also the second part of that is also like how to not be like a jerk or like repel people accidentally because you're trying to show how authoritative you are, but then maybe you come off too braggadocious. So do you have any best practices on how to potentially stand out more without being jerky, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, 100%. Great question. So one of the things that we found that works best with our clients, and again, every person is going to have their own range, but we found that anything that is unconventional or controversial works really, really well to get attention. Okay? It works really well. And so this is the PR agency in me coming out. You don't have to be extremely controversial. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting you step out of alignment with yourself. But in terms of presenting your ideas in a different way, that is one of the things that we found works really, really well, is when we can give some insight for a client or for ourselves that says, hey, look, this is how everyone else is talking about it. We have a different opinion. And yes, we agree with 70, 80, 90% of that, but these little pieces that we're going to share with you, that's unique insight that you're just not going to find anywhere else. We'll give you behind the scenes insight. I'll tell you how it really is with press. etc. Be a little bit contrarian. Yes, this is super helpful.
That's awesome. Yeah, super helpful. Anything that we may not want to do that might hurt us, like, hey, I've got this and this and this and this and this, and then that's too much. Is there anything that's too much that might hurt us in terms of from a journalist perspective?
Question. So I think if I think the overall trying to stand out by throwing everything at the journalist is counterproductive. Think about if you're going to get 10K a month in press for free, you've got to think about it in terms of like a numbers game as well, right? So yes, Press Jockey makes it a heck of a lot easier, but it is a numbers game. We're not here. It's easy. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it is a numbers game. And so we're not going to reach out to 10 journalists and all of a sudden get 8 placements. It doesn't work like that. What we need to do is we need to say, okay, I've got a story, an angle, a pitch, a very specific way I want to be contrarian to get my foot in the door. And once I get my foot in the door, then I can open up my wealth of expertise, my wealth of insight. I can start talking about other things, but I need to have 1 or 2 key things that I'm going to be slightly contrarian about, get my foot in the door, and then go from there. Okay. I'm not going to throw, for example, take my experience, or take a client's experience. Some of our clients they've started multiple companies, sold multiple companies, been around the world. Like, you can go down the list, just like I'm sure most or many of you have a ton of experiences. But we're not going to talk about all of those. We're going to take one thing, make a contrarian, pitch that. And I think that is much more helpful. If you think about, and kind of just in quick summary, if you think about press in terms of a numbers game, imagine, we'll use easy numbers. You respond to 100 of these in a month, okay? You respond to 100 requests. You click the reply. It's pretty easy. You spend 10 minutes on this thing. Okay, you respond to 100. You're probably going to hear back from, let's call it 20 or 30. So, okay, we just cut the pool down, okay? Out of those 20 or 30, maybe you'll have 10 conversations. Out of those 10 conversations, maybe you'll get 4 or 5 publications, maybe 3, okay? So 3 to 5. Okay, so 100 down to 3. That's still amazing if you think about one of those publications being a publication that has 10 million viewers every month, or even 100,000 viewers a month. You would have to pay thousands of dollars. And again, we've paid for clients to be on these publications as well. So I know you've got a cost per 1,000 advertising rate. You pay to be on these. And so if you get 3 publications that each normally charge $2,000 to $5,000, you're literally getting tens of thousands of dollars of press for free. But it took that 100 responses down to 20 conversations, down to 10 calls, down to 3 placements. Maybe you get 4 or 5, and that's awesome. And then it starts to stack on top of each other, because the next month you can say, hey, I was just featured in X, Y, and Z, and that helps increase your conversion, and it starts to compound from there.
Got it. Well, listen, we would be remiss if we didn't get some feedback on what we thought about Cahill's presentation. What y'all think this is? You think we're not doing it Talkadot style? This is what we're doing, people. We're doing some Talkadot. So do me a favor. Cahill's dropping some gems on press. He talked about his incredible tool. So if everyone can do me a favor and click on that link right there. If you want to scan the QR code there, you can scan the QR code and give us your thoughts. Put in the code PRESS. And what I did is we took some of those cool things that Cahill was talking about, how to structure your talk, how to do the calls to action. So as you, if you put in press as your bonus, we'll give you that in a Google Doc so that you can copy it and use it. And then if you put in your email address, we can make sure to send any other additional resources, and we can send you some more info on what Cahill's doing with the press jockey and all those cool resources as well. So make sure to put that information in. We'll make sure to get that to you if you'd like it. Give you access to that doc. And Cahill, if we can get any other resources that you'd like to share, we'll email it over to everyone.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and what kind of other offer do you have? Like,
so
you've got some cool stuff.
So look, I really like I really love the Talkadot crew, and I love what we're all trying to do, right? We all have fantastic stories, we all have great insight, and I think we need to push that further, and we need to get that out into the world. We're going through a lot of stuff right now. So if anyone wants to get signed up before the end of next week, I would be happy to have our team write your first few pitches for you. So we'll write 2 pitches for you. There's no charge to that. We normally charge for that, but we'll write your pitches for you, and you will have templates just like the one I used today, just like I showed you, that is specific to you, written by our team of press professionals. So if you want to get signed up, you got to sign up on one of the paid packages. Doesn't matter which one, and we'll write two of those templates for you. Okay.
Got it. And is there a link or a contact information if someone has more questions or if someone wants to stay in touch with you or find out more about what they're doing? That's the best way to do that.
Sure. The best way to reach me is Cahill, so that's CAHILL at pressjockey.com. So that's where I'm at. And if you want to connect with me at my agency, it's Cahill at digital, DIGITAL, vision, VISION.io. So digitalvision.io. So you can reach out, on both of those, Cahill at digitalvision.io or Cahill at pressjockey.com. Either one, it is good. And I'm excited to see what we can do here with everyone, advancing their businesses further and faster. Like I think we've got a huge opportunity here.
Yeah, that's super awesome. And to be able to have that created for you by his team so that you can pretty much copy and paste it and know that it's written by professionals is like super duper dope. So I really, really appreciate you, Cahill, doing that. So please, please, please leave us your thoughts and feedback on this in the link right here in the chat. You can click on that and give us your thoughts on this session that we did. You can, of course, scan the QR code with your phone and give us your thoughts as well. You're all Talkadot professionals, so you know how Talkadot flows and why this is so important. And then if you sign up for that account, you'll be able to get that access to a team that can put together that really specific messaging that will work for you. So you don't have to lament over it too much, and know that you're getting it from the highest quality source as well. So it just makes your life way more easier in getting out there, putting it out there. And again, if you put in the code PRESS when you take Talkadot, you'll get some of the things that Cahill talked about today in terms of the structure, how to do it, the CTAs and all that fun stuff. So that'll be just a little simple thing for you. Cahill, any final thoughts before we say adieu?
I hope to see everyone just become very successful and push great ideas forward. Really, I love ideas. I love expertise and insight from unique minds, and I think that everyone on the call has the opportunity to share their story and to share their brand and to get out there and help people. So let's get after it.
All right, sounds great. So thank you all for joining us on this very special Talkadot specific training on how to get into the media, what to say, how to stand out. When you said keep it short, I had no idea it was as short as the like I would have written like 3 paragraphs and been like, that was short. So that framework that you gave us, that's in that bonus that you all get access to, and the ability to get your thing created is just super duper helpful. And I hope all of you get the press mentions to get your message, to get what you care about out there in front of more people. We are super excited about our town hall, which is happening next week. So you've gotten a calendar invitation for that. We got some new features and new functionality that we want to tell you about from Talkadot based upon your feedback. And we want to hear about what's working for you and what we can do to make your lives better. So make sure to accept that invitation. If you've not gotten one, send an email to hello@talkadot.com and we'll send you the calendar invite. And remember, if you want to speak a lot, get yourself some. If you want to talk a lot, I messed up my own catchphrase. Golly, if you want to talk a lot, get yourself some Talkadot. Thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best. Thanks, Cahill.
Thank you.